Hi, everybody. It's Dr. Elisa Harney, and I wanted to do a pop up live because I wanted to address something that I believe is so potent. I want to address something that I believe is so important for us, that is important for us in every area of our lives. And I believe that if we do not get a grasp on some things, we're going to miss it. We're going to miss out. We're going to neglect and forfeit some things that are for us. We're going to forfeit some things that are going to be able to shift us out of our now into our next. And so join me tonight as I discuss Find Another Superhero, I Quit. I want you all to invite somebody else, share this in your stories, or tag somebody, because it's going to be real, raw, and relevant tonight. I believe that it's going to be an awakening moment. It's going to be an aha moment. It's going to perhaps even be a moment of reckoning to help us recognize some things that we may be doing inadvertently that is really causing us to forfeit certain things in our future, in our family, in our finances. And so tonight we're going to deal with Find Another Superhero, I Quit. So welcome everybody. I'm Dr. Elisa Harney, the Empowerment Specialist, and my specialty is getting you positioned to prosper in your purpose. I help today's leaders increase their profits, their platform, their performance, and their presence with sustainable strategies of progression. And so I help us cultivate and get into alignment with our unique assignment. And so I'm so excited. Thank you guys that are jumping on for this moment that I just want to teach. And hopefully I'll be able to just put the replay up for those of you all that were not able to catch it live, because I believe it's going to be so important. So let's talk about something. And I believe, there are some things in our lives, and I love saying this, that we wear it like a badge, but it's really a burden. We wear it like a badge. We wear it like it's something that should be celebrated and something that we're so proud of and something that we're quick to boast about. But it's really a burden. And a lot of the times we don't want to tell the truth about these badges that we wear that are really burdens. And so what we do a lot of the times is we're tired. We are these martyrs in different levels of our lives, and we don't know how to retire the cape. Can somebody type in the comments, it's time to retire the cape? Yeah, it's time to retire the cape. And I really tonight want to help give you some insight on why it's going to be so important for us to retire the cape. And we've got to give a benediction, and we've got to say, look, this thing between us, yeah, I'm out. May the Lord watch between me and you while we're absent one from another. And so it's time to retire the cape. And so let's talk about this superhero syndrome that we have taken upon ourselves. Whether we've done it intentionally or whether we've done it inadvertently. We didn't mean to put this cape on. We didn't mean to try and take this mantle of responsibility and obligation on us. But we've been wearing it so long. We've been fighting these battles for so long. We've been operating as the superhero for so long. I believe we're not even aware that we even can retire the cape. We don't even, we're so busy thinking I've got to find a replacement before I can retire the cape. We don't even realize that we actually don't have to carry the cape. We don't have to carry the cape. We can retire the cape. And so I want to break down this hero, this superhero mentality. And I want to really give us some insight and some clarity about what we're really doing. Now, when we think about hero, when we think about heroism, we think about it's an amazing act of strength and power. It's courageous. It's bravery, exemplary bravery. But what happens is when we assume the role, we also assume the responsibilities. Somebody should type that if you're taking notes. When we decide to be a superhero, there's something we're not understanding. When we assume the role, we're also assuming the responsibility. One time for the people in the back, when we decide that we're going to be somebody's superhero, we have to understand that when we assume the role, we also assume the responsibility. And so we don't even recognize that we've taken on responsibility. Aren't we already busy? Aren't we already overwhelmed and overtaxed and underappreciated? But when we take on the role, we also take on the responsibility. And so we need to look at some characteristics of superheroes, and we really need to understand what is happening when we put this cape on, because I'm telling you, it's time to retire the cape. It's time to retire the cape. And that's not something that we really a lot of the times want to hear, because who are we if we can't be a superhero? Who are we if we're not coming to save the day? Who are we if they're not calling on us in the midnight hour? Who are we if we don't get to jump up and fix everything? Who are we if we're not the people that's already always given a hand out and a hand up? But we need to understand what about this superhero mentality is that when we assume the role, we also assume the responsibility. And so when we actually look at this thing and we understand that when we talk about superheroes, that they're fictional, except we give them life when we try to take on the attributes that are not even in our atmosphere. We don't even have those. Let's think about it for a moment. Let's break this thing down. These superheroes, we know them. Let's talk about, like, Batman and Superman and Spider-Man and Wonder Woman and all of these people, the Avengers that we deem superheroes. Let's look at them, and let's look at actually these responsibilities that we've taken upon ourselves when we take on the role of being a superhero. Number one, superheroes have supernatural powers, right? Heroes can do anything outside of human capacity. They have super strength. They have supervision. They have super tolerance. Think about it. When we decide that we are superheroes, we're also not just taking the role, we're taking the responsibility. And so we're giving people the message that we have supernatural powers. That means we're telling them we don't need to sleep. Oh, no. You can call me anytime in the midnight hour. We don't need to eat that. No. I don't need to take a break because I'm a superhero. So I have supernatural powers. And so we don't understand when we put ourselves in the role of superhero, we're assuming the responsibility and we're teaching people how to treat us in that capacity. And so a lot of the times we get very disjointed, we get very discombobulated when we say, wait a minute, why are people acting like I have all of the answers? Why are people acting like I have all of the money? Why do people act like I have all the time in the world? Well, we don't understand that when we assume the role, we assume the responsibilities. And so if you're out there acting like a superhero, then what happens is people are inadvertently attributing certain characteristics to you that you don't even have the capacity for. So again, let's look at it. Number one, superheroes have superhuman powers, supernatural powers. They can do things, these heroes, outside of your human capacity. And when you allow people to believe that you are a superhero, you're saying, man, I have the power to endure anything. Treat me like you will. Talk about me how you must. I have supernatural strength. I can take anything. I don't battle with anything because I can do whatever I do outside of human capacity. Number two, when we're a superhero, when we think about the characteristics of superheroes, they have a secret identity. When they're done saving the world, when they're done, they can go back to pretending to be somebody else. Look at Clark Kent, right? Look at Bruce Wayne. Look at Peter Parker. So they can be one thing to somebody, and then they can turn around and say, all right, I'm over that. Let me go back to my normal life. Let me go back to my other identity that I have cultivated for myself because I am tired of this responsibility. But guess what? We don't get the option to do that. And so when we're out here being superheroes, again, you assume the role, you assume the responsibility. You're thinking that you can mix and match up who you get to be whenever you want to be. But no, every part of these characteristics lie in one person. And so if you are all things to everybody and then you try to be something to somebody, no, you don't get to switch. All of that is encompassed in your one person. And so that's why a lot of us operate in a lot of social, spiritual, and strategic schizophrenia because we're trying to be superheroes and they have secret identities. So over here, we're trying to be this person. And then to this group of people, we think we have to be this person. And then to the children, we have to completely be somebody else. And then we don't understand why we have all of these identities vying for our attention on the inside of us. Because listen, we're not superheroes. Tonight I'm dealing with, find yourself another superhero. I quit. Thirdly, superheroes actually have independent wealth and unlimited resources. Every time you think about superheroes, they have this base, this control center, right? This headquarters where they can go to escape. They have this place where they can recharge. They have this place where they can get information. It usually has all kinds of high-tech gadgets. It has weapons, highly intelligent machinery, all of this, the Bat Cave, all of these headquarters that they have. And let's not even mention that they also get sidekicks. They also get superhero allies that show up and help them fight. They also have somebody that helps them handle their day-to-day task and routine while they're out there being great. Now, let's be honest. If we are telling the truth about who we are and what we have, a lot of us do not have unlimited resources. We have reservoirs that tap out. They're called credit limits, and there are different things that we don't have. That if we're telling the truth, we don't have those things. We don't have unlimited sources of wealth and resources. We have very limited. We have limited time. Superheroes, they can rewind time. They have other people who have these amazing, sometimes we can't even find a friend in need, indeed, to help us when we're in need. But no. We're out there thinking we're superheroes. And so when we assume the role, we have to also assume the responsibility. So we're sitting here thinking that we have these unlimited resources and that we have a bat cave that we can go through, that when something tears up, oh, don't worry about it. I got another supercharged outfit I can put right on. I'm good. Really? It's not the truth. It's not accurate. And so we don't ever get to have a chance to go into a secret place, into seclusion, so that we can be healed from the wounds that we've had to deal with trying to get out there and save the world. Lastly, superheroes are indestructible. If we think about it, whatever's broken can be replaced. There's no fear of death because they live outside of the realm of reality. Let me say this again. Superheroes, right? They live outside of the realm of reality. And so they are not fearing death. They're not feeling hurt. You see them, they'll get shot, and all of a sudden the bullet pops out and their bodies just start coming back together and it starts healing itself. They don't need to take a time out to do what? Oh yeah, just change the bandages. By the time you change the bandages, listen, or the bullets just bounce right off of them because they're indestructible. They live outside of the realm of reality, but not us. If we get hurt, we bleed. If you hurt us, we'll cry. You crush us, we will break. And so when we're out here taking attributes of superheroes and we're wearing it like a badge, but it is really a burden, again, these superheroes have supernatural powers. Sometimes we barely have the tenacity to get through our own day. By the time we've done everything for everybody, we are drained. Secondly, I said that superheroes have a secret identity. When they're out finished being great and saving the world, they can decide to be somebody else. But no, the next day after we've saved the world, we've got to get up and do it again. Thirdly, I said that superheroes have independent wealth and unlimited resources, but not us. We have limits, overdraft fees, bounce checks, insufficient funds. We know whether it is spiritual or financial or emotional when we're in a default, when we're in a deficit. And then lastly, superheroes are indestructible, but us, no. We're flesh and blood. And so we've got to think through taking this notion of superhero. And one of the things that I have come to realize is that when we allow ourselves to be superhero, we're making a few assumptions. I want to name 3 assumptions that we make when we've decided to be heroes. Number 1, we assume when we're trying to be somebody else's hero, because you're only a superhero because you've identified that somebody else needs saving. So when you put yourself in the place of being a superhero, it's never about you. It's all about the fact that you and you alone are the only person that has the capacity to save everybody. That you and you alone have the resources, have the tenacity, have the vitality to go out there and be everything for everybody all of the time. And so when you're a superhero, that means that your attention belongs to somebody else, that your time belongs to somebody else, that your resources belong to somebody else, that your very life source, your very ability to stay alive is at the mercy of somebody else's cry for help. And so when we're being somebody else's hero, there are 3 assumptions that we make. Number 1, we assume they need to be saved. The psalmist said, don't save her. She don't want to be saved, right? We assume that when we're out there saving the day, these people want to be saved. They need to be saved. They can't learn the lesson if you're always the solution. So a lot of the times, again, we wear it like a badge, but it's really a burden. And we're saying, I'm so tired of them always calling me. I'm so tired of I'm always the person that they have to lean on. I'm tired of being the glue that has to hold it all together. I'm tired of being the unlimited reservoir of wealth for everybody. I'm tired of being the one that always has to figure out what to do next. I'm tired of that. But they can't learn the lesson when we're always the solution. And so again, when you assume the role, you also assume the responsibility. And so we assume they need to be saved. Number two, and let me talk about that for a second. We think that them needing to be saved, and a lot of the times we're doing it selfishly. We're doing it because we say, I don't want them dealing with that. I don't want them in that place. I want better for them. But what if the consequences of their actions have set them and led them to this place, and it is what they learn in the valley that's going to give them the tenacity and the strength that they need to not get there again? But if we're thinking they need to be saved, especially if we're trying to be the Savior and not lead them to the Savior, then we've already taken on these responsibilities and attributes that do not belong to us. So we think they need to be saved. But sometimes their lack of us saving them is exactly what's going to save them. See, we don't want to hear that. But sometimes the fact that we don't save them, it's what's actually going to save them. And so we assume that if we're the superhero and we're out there saving the day, we're assuming that they need to be saved. Well, what if we are out of time? What if they needed to be in this little valley just a little bit too long so that they can break off some of the dysfunctions that have deterred them from their destiny, but we pull them out of it too quick? What if we pull them out of the oven just before the heat and the refiner's fire shifts them and refines them into who they're really supposed to be? Here we are, though, trying to save the day. And so we assume that they need to be saved when actually they might be just exactly where they need to be at that moment. The second assumption that we make is that they want to be saved. I just told y'all that the songwriter said, don't save her. She don't want to be saved. A lot of people are actually content right where they are. And a lot of the times we're trying to project what we see and what we want onto them. But what we have to understand is that people are entitled to their own process. Whoo, can I say this again? Because a lot of us that are trying to be superheroes don't want to hear this because this is taking away some of our responsibility. But people are entitled to their own process. And if somebody is telling you, look, I don't want your advice right now. Look, I don't need your help at this moment. Look, I don't want a handout. Then sometimes we need to hush so they can heal. All right, it's not popular tonight, but we've got to, give a benediction to this superhero. It's time to retire the cape. People are entitled to their process. And so sometimes because we're I don't want them hurt. I don't want them held hostage to this that's going on. So let me save them. Leave people alone sometimes. We have to learn to differentiate between our intentions for them and their intentions for themselves. But I know better. I know what she needs to be doing. You're not her mama. You're not her daddy. You're not her savior. And if she's saying, or if he's saying, let me have this, then I did a message, a pop-up live, a prophetic pop-up live. I think it's on YouTube if you're not subscribed to my channel, called Hands Off. And one day the Lord gave me a message about hands off. And he started teaching me about how we have to take our hands off of certain things. We don't want to. We would rather do but hands off. Because sometimes we have to release things so that he can do what it is that he does best. And then the third assumption we make is we assume that we can save them. Our power isn't trying to be the Savior. Our strength is in knowing how to lead them to the Savior. And so a lot of the times we think we can save people. We don't realize that we have put an unsurmountable responsibility on ourselves. We have put a burden on ourselves that we probably don't have the capacity to even carry. It's time to retire the cape. And it's crazy because And y'all know me. Y'all know I keep it real and I keep it raw. A lot of the times while we're out here trying to be the superhero and we're out here trying to save the day, we're so busy saving the day, we can't even save money so that we can invest it into some stuff we really need to be doing. No, but we saving the day. We saving the day, but we can't save enough money to get a coach that's going to help shift us in our business. We're saving the day, but we can't save enough money to invest into a marketing team that helps us get our product or our program out there to the people in excellence. We're so busy saving the day that we can't even save up for a staff and hire people to help us. But we're saving the day. We're out here saving the day like we're getting time and a half. Stay out here saving the day. We're so busy out here saving the day. It's funny. We can't even save time to work on the stuff that's important to us. But we're out here saving the day. I'm trying to figure out how it is that we're saving the day, but we can't even save time to concentrate on the thing, our projects, our pastimes, our priorities. They all get put on the back burner. Why? Because we out here saving the day. We're out here trying to be superheroes. And then we're so busy out here trying to save the day that we can't even save the relationships that are important to us. Our relationship with God, our relationship with our family, our relationship with our significant others, our relationships with our children. Oh, no. We can't cultivate those because we're out here trying to save the day. We're so busy trying to save the day, we don't even know how to cultivate new relationships because we don't have the time. We don't even have the time to make new connections because we're so busy trying to save the day. We're so busy trying to save the day that we can't even save our sanity. Out here losing our mind. Out here in this atmosphere of anxiety. Out here cultivating chaos because we're out here trying to save the day. And so when we take on the role of superhero, we're also taking on the responsibility of superhero. And again, we're so busy saving the day, we can't save money. Because everybody else, they need a handout. And so here we go. We act like we're Oprah. You get some money and you get some of my hard-earned money. And you know what? You get some of my... I know you're not even going to pay me back because your track record is bad. But I've got to save that. Here you go. And so we can't even save our money to invest in the stuff that we need. We can't even save our time. And so we're maxed out. At the end of the day, all we can do is go to bed. There's no time to do what we need to do towards us. And then we have the audacity to be resentful. But we're out here wearing it like a badge when it's really a burden. Because again, I said it at the beginning, it's time to retire the cape. And again, when we make these assumptions that we're somebody's superhero, number one, we're assuming they need to be saved. And they could be just in the place where they're being refined and they're being cultivated. But no, we're jumping in to save the day. Number two, we make the assumption that they want to be saved. Don't save her. She don't want to be saved. And we think that they want to be saved. Some people, they want to. Listen, I said it earlier, that people have a right to their own process. They get to decide how to shift and process through whatever it is that they're dealing with and they're going through. But here we are. Because again, being the superhero is very selfish. It's very entitled. We feel as though, no, I don't want you going through that. So I'll save you. Well, they can't learn the lesson because you're always the solution. And so then what happens is you cultivate this very unhealthy codependency where they get in trouble and you get them out of it. And so guess what they get to do again? Get in trouble. Why? Because then you can live your best life and slap that cape on again and save them again. And then we assume that we can save them. And we're so busy trying to be the savior that we have no idea how to lead them to the savior. You know that S on your chest? I've been saying this forever. It does not stand for superhero. It stands for stop it, sis. It stands for sit down, sir. And so we've got to get to the place where we understand that when we're trying to be a hero, we're trying to be brave and we think that we're being helpful and we think that we're saving the day. But if you look at what happens when we're trying to be a hero, a superhero, because it's outside of the realm of reality, the H starts standing for hurt. Because people are now taking advantage of our good hearts and our intentions. And so being a superhero, trying to be a hero, that H in hero starts to stand for hurt. Because we're finding ourselves in places where we're saying, but they didn't even appreciate what I did. All that help I just gave them. That E begins to stand for entanglement. We're entangled in something. See, y'all thought Jada was in an entanglement. No, 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 no. This is the kind of entanglement we get in as heroes. That E stands for entanglement, because now we're caught up in situations that don't even belong to us. And be not entangled again. You're in a form of entanglement because you're out here being a hero and you've heroed yourself into somebody else's web. And now you're wondering, why are you over here stressed out about whether or not she's going to leave him? Why are you over here stressed out about, well, what they're going to do if she don't make it to work on time because she's been late 20 other times? And then what if they lose their jobs? Now the E in hero stands for entanglement. And then the R in hero now stands for rejection. Because here's the thing. Some people leave what they can't leverage. We're not going to want to hear this, but rejection, when we're trying to be the hero, that R stands for rejection, because people will leave what they can't leverage. When some people find out they can't take advantage of you, and when they start finding out you're no longer renting out your resources, you're no longer putting your call on clearance and prostituting your purpose, oh, they don't want to fool with you anymore, because they're like, wait a minute, I came for the freebies. I came to drop the kids off, so you take care of them while I do what I want to do. I came to cast my burden on you. So now you've got to deal with rejection, because people leave what they can't leverage. And then that O begins to stand for overwhelm, because our emotions now have erupted outside of the realm of our reach. Now we're feeling disjointed. Now we're feeling like, what's happening? But you want to be a hero. But you want to save the day. But you want to jump up every time a crisis show up, and here you are. And you're giving the assumption that you have unlimited resources, that you're indestructible. You're giving all of these superhero characteristics. And then after you've done all you can, and people don't appreciate you anyway, you have the audacity to be hurt because you're entangled. There's rejection, and now you're overwhelmed. And you say, is that what a hero sounds like? Oh, I'm over it. That's it for me. And as soon as that symbol flashes across the sky, help, help, here you go. Hear me. It's time to retire the cape. We're, again, wearing it like a badge, but it's really a burden. I need you to understand that if you decide to finally retire the cape and say, I'm no longer going to be a superhero, a lot of the times you don't do it because you're thinking, but I have a need to be needed. And see, now we have to do that internal inventory and deal with our own dysfunctions. But who am I if I'm not everything to them? Or, I don't want to have to tell them no. I don't want to have to say I can't do something. Can I tell you something? That staying in character doesn't mean staying in captivity. I'm dropping nuggets tonight, and I think I'm teaching better than y'all in this comment section. But staying in character doesn't mean staying in captivity. You can still be the same sweet, helpful person. You can still love the Lord. You can still walk in integrity and still give them the deuces. Yeah, it's going to be a good, crispy no for me. You can say it with a smile. As a matter of fact, you should practice other ways to say it. No, thank you. You know what? I'm going to take a rain check on this one. Not today. Maybe next time. Yeah, no. Staying in character doesn't mean you have to stay in captivity. Understand something else. Another person's wholeness shouldn't require your brokenness. Whoo! Y'all hearing me? Another person's wholeness shouldn't require your brokenness. If the only way that another person is able to be whole and healed and walk in the totality of who they should be, it means that you have to be broken down. It means that you're always broken emotionally because you're trying to hold them up. You're always broken financially because you're always having to give to them. You're always broken mentally because you're trying to take on their problems. No, not so. Another person's wholeness should not require your brokenness. Listen, I'm talking about find another superhero. I quit. It's time to retire the cape. Listen, I need you to understand something. It's not called help if it's being held over your head. Hear me. It's not called help if it's being held over your head. A lot of times we think, well, I'm just trying to help them. Really, but if when you don't help them, they hold it over your head and they make you feel bad about it, and they talk down on you and they act as though you never did anything good for them. And so now you're doing it not because you want to, but because it's out of obligation. Hear me, that's a stick up. It's not help if it's being held over your head. And so for all of you who are going around saying, no, they need me to help them. No, you're held hostage. That's a hostage situation. This might pinch, but I hope it's going to push you into your purpose. That's not help. That's hostage. You have to ask yourself some questions, and you have to say something to yourself, especially if you have made a career of being a superhero. Nobody ever died from a no. See, y'all out here got these folks got y'all fooled, but I'm here to help you. Nobody ever died from a no. Yeah, but if I say no, what in the world are they going to do? I'm sorry, I did not know that you were their Alpha and Omega. But if I don't do it, who else? How will they ever get along? I'm sorry, Junior Jesus. I had no idea that you alone held the power to make them win or lose. Nobody ever died from a no. I can guarantee you right now that they've got a plan B in their back left pocket. The only reason they keep coming to you is because you always say yes. I'm trying to help us tonight. And then not just that, when you finally get the gall to say no and let it go. You don't say no and then come back and try to check on it to see, oh, I said no. So let me go see how they doing with my no. No. Say no and then let it go. Y'all always hollering about let go and let God, but you can't even let go out of a hostage situation. Say no and let it go. What happens is you've got to stop enabling them with your yes and start empowering them with your no. Can I say that again for the people in the back? Stop enabling them with your yes and start empowering them with your no. One more time, because I don't want it to go over your head. Stop enabling them with your yes and start empowering them with your no. You know, your no can be your preservation plan. No. Preservation plan. You know what? No, I'm not going to do that. No, I'm not going. No, I'm not going to pay for that. No, I'm not going to give you that money. No, I'm not going to take care of it this time. No is my preservation plan. I'm saying no to preserve myself. Woo. See, this goes against that superhero mentality. No, I'm not going to jump in front of the bullet for you this time. No, I'm not going to do your work for you. No, it's a no. It's a good, crispy, clean no for me. No is a preservation plan. No will save you some headache and some heartache. No will save you money. Did you know that? No will save you time. You don't even realize that no is your secret superpower. No. So we've got to get to a place where we retire the cape and we find contentment in our no. We retire the cape and we find completion in our no. We retire the cape and we find confidence in our no. We retire the cape and we find clarity in our no. So no, find another superhero. I quit. And when I quit being your superhero, I get to finally operate in my purpose. I get to finally be who I was called to be. I get to finally concentrate and focus on the things that my hands are meant to do. I can finally help a large group of people instead of concentrating on just one, because you got to find another superhero. I quit because there are some other things that I need to do. There are some other places that I need to be. Time is winding up. I've got to get into alignment with my assignment. I've got to be positioned to prosper in my purpose, but I can't do that being your hero. The songwriter said, I'm not your superwoman. We've got to say, I'm not your superhero. I quit, may the Lord watch between thee and I while we're absent. And so I just wanted to come on and to really just incite us that hero, identity is keeping us from so much. One of the things that I'm not marketing it here on social media, but in my email subscription, I have began to put out a few slots for virtual VIP days, because I want to talk to people who are finally and have strategy sessions with people who are finally saying, you know what, I have spent enough time, enough years and tears and sweat and blood building up everybody else's castle, building up everybody else's career, building up everybody else's connections. It's time to focus on me. And so I decided, let me put myself in a position for people who have finally decided to retire the cape and that they're ready to take up what belongs to them. Yeah. This is the people I'm called to. This is who I want to help. And so make sure that if you are interested in my virtual VIP strategy days, that I have a couple of spots that I'm going to have open to work with me from now to the end of the year, because I want you prepared to prosper in 2022. Send me the word VIP to my DMs, and I'll make sure that we get some information from you so that you can see what that is all about. If you would like to work with me in any other capacity, I do have in-person VIP days. I do have executive coaching programs, and I'm getting ready to release something really, really big. So make sure that you have went to the link in my bio and make sure that you're subscribed to my email marketing list, because something great is coming. And I have a whole lot of other resources for you. You can go to purposepositioning.com and see courses that I have available to help us cultivate ourselves personally and professionally and prophetically, so that we can shift out of our now and kill it while we're in our next. So thank you guys for coming on. Make sure that you go back and watch this replay and listen. You have to make that affirmation within yourself. There may be some people after this live that you're going to have to give some benedictions to. There may be some obligations that you're going to say, hey, yeah, you know what? Let me let y'all find another superhero. I know I used to be the martyr of the family. I know I used to be the glue that holds it together. I know I was the shoulders that y'all could all lean on. I know that it was my wallet that money cometh to you right now came from. But I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to tap out. Let me go ahead and send you this letter of benediction, this divorcement decree. And let me just say, hey, but find another superhero. I quit. It's time for me now to take on the mantle of multi-potentiality. It's time for me now to take on the mantle of the momentum of who I'm called to be. It's time for me to maximize this moment and be who I was really called to be. And so it's time to retire the cape so that you can pick up the plow and move forward and cultivate this next season in your life. I'm Dr. E, and I pray and hope that this was something that you were able to get some clarity about, get some information, but also to just really cultivate certain things in your emotions, in your mindset, because time is winding up. And we don't have time to be out here trying to be superheroes. We've got to slap that S on our back and say, hey, I need some support, because I'm trying to shift into this next season. And it's just some things. I've been the help. Now I need the help. Man, can I say that again? We've just got to tell the truth in this next hour. I've been the help, but now I need the help. And that's what I'm here for, to help you, to help cultivate you, to help coach, to help mentor, to help shift, to shift and shape. This is what we're called to do. And so, yeah, in this next season, I'm not trying to be the help. I need the help, because it's time for me to shift. I'm Dr. E, and I'll see y'all next time.